and do this if we don't even know. But it was one of those things where you just got to jump in, and it felt right. So we did it. And the next month we made $18,000. We went from making $400 a month if we were lucky. Like that was like the best month we had last year in August was like $400. We're okay. We actually did something, right? And our bills are not cheap. So that was a struggle. To $18,000 a month. And so that was just our first big growth. And so just know that our truck got repossessed and things were really ugly for a while. We couldn't go on family vacations. My family was camping. We were sitting at home. But it gets better, I promise. And so business is not easy. It's harder than we think it's going to be, but it's totally worth it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and then just some of the things that we've done since then, just kind of to give you guys kind of an idea of where our experience level at and where my experience level at is. So recently, we actually got to speak on the Global Wealth Leader stage, which was really cool. We've spoken at tons of conferences, some of the world's largest energy healing conferences, so that's been really cool. We've been interviewed on a lot of TV shows. We did 4 online classes. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys all take online courses, but we posted 4 and had amazing turnouts, 20 plus people every time. And so it's been a really fun journey. But kind of why I wanted to start with Colette and kind of talk to her about working with you guys is because I really started with network marketers. That's kind of where our business kind of started growing, was kind of where we were like, okay, what are we doing? Who can we help that's serious about their business, that has invested something. And it was so weird. We just were starting to attract a ton of network marketers, all different companies. And what we learned is, it doesn't matter the company that you're in, but it has to be the right one for you. But it doesn't matter which company it is. I mean, there's so many great companies out there, but what's important is that it's the right one for you. And so what I want to talk to you guys about today is we're going to kind of go over vision boards, because a lot of people use vision boards like, not wrong, but there's definitely some tools and tips that you can do to make them work for you on an extreme, amazing level. But then also, I wanted to go over your business mindset and kind of how it's different. A lot of network marketers kind of build this mindset towards business that's actually not really there. And so it's just like this, it kind of puts a halt on their business until they break through that and realize that it is a business. And so I want to go over that for sure. And then I want to talk about letting go of, negative beliefs and just getting over all of that junk and just letting it go. And so we have quite a bit to go over today. Am I okay on time, Colette?
Yeah.
Am I going too fast?
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, perfect. I move a lot too, so I'll probably be up and down. Okay, so let's talk about vision boards. So it's kind of funny. Growing up, I had 3 brothers and 0 sisters. So I was super masculine and always had to be the best at everything, but it was always the best was compared to men, right? And so it's so interesting now that I work with female entrepreneurs, because I had to really let go of that. I have to be better than men. And I think in a business world as women, sometimes we see it as it's a downfall. It's very hard. And when we set our goals, when we set our beliefs, we compare them to men. I remember one of my great mentors, he's a guy. And I remember being like, I'm going to beat him. And it was only because he was a guy that I wanted to beat him. And it's like, that's not, you don't want to go into the wrong industry and do the wrong thing. That's just because of, ego. And I had a really big one. And so it was kind of funny. So I was a district manager and I had worked for 2 different companies, and both my bosses were men, and it was always about beating them. And my mom was like, you need to chill out. And so she was like, come to this class with me and learn about vision boards. And it's a free class. We're just going to go, and it's going to be great. And you're going to set some goals for yourself and not for other people. And so I went, and it was like a 3-hour class. And I remember coming home that night, and I got home, and at the time we lived with my husband's parents. I was a district manager and I loved my job, but we were making the transition from Washington to Utah. And so we lived with his parents for a few months, and then the company I worked for went bankrupt. And so it was like a perfect time, because I knew I only had a week until I didn't have a job anymore. And so I get home and I create this vision board, and I was like, we're going to buy a house and we're going to have babies. And my husband had no idea, because he was like, that's never was in our plan. We haven't talked about that. We've been married for 4 years. What are you doing? But long story short is I created a vision board, and it really started my journey towards, wanting more, because you really can't achieve more unless you want it. And a lot of people are scared to actually dream bigger. So what I want to start with is I want you guys to get a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and I want you to write down what it is that you want to accomplish by the end of 2016. So I would write it in a journal form. So I would write, you know, what I want to accomplish by the end of 2016 is, and fill in the blank. While you guys do that, I'm actually going to grab a binder. All right. And then I want you guys to think about why it is that you want to accomplish the goal that you wrote down. And I want you to think big on this one. Is it because it's what your family needs? Is it because it's what you really want? Is it because, you know, somebody else wants it and you're trying to help them? Like, what is the reason that you're really going to go for this goal? And keeping that in mind, I want you guys to write below the sentence that you just wrote what I actually want to accomplish by the end of 2016 is. And so just whatever comes to mind. It doesn't have to be perfect, just whatever goal comes to mind. So what I actually want to accomplish by the end of 2016 is. All right, did anybody have a different answer than the one that they gave at the beginning? Or was it the same?
The same.
Was it the same? Okay, did anybody have a different answer?
Anyone? Feel free to unmute yourself and say, did you have a different answer on the second one?
And if not, that's totally okay. But every time that I write a goal, I rewrite the goal. And I want to kind of explain why is because a lot of times the first goal that we write is a scarcity goal. It's not really what we want, it's what we have to do, right? And so then by creating a second goal or giving yourself the opportunity to write the second goal, sometimes it really brings out your true passion. And in business, it's important that you're following what you really want to do. So if your second answer was the same as your first one, that's awesome. That means you're on the right page and that you're doing what you want to be doing. So that's good. Okay.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Now, what was the first goal? What was it that we were supposed to write down?
What you want to accomplish by the end of 2016.
Okay, what was the second one?
What you actually want to accomplish by the end of 2016.
It's confusing to me. That's why I had the same one. I'm like, okay.
No, you're good. Okay, so let me kind of explain. So whenever I like to do journaling. I journal, I have like 7 journals. And each one's different. And so when we journal, sometimes we tap into our subconscious. And so it's really like when you're thinking about doing things, it's good to write them out in like a sentence form coming from you. So that's why I use like the wording, you know, I want to accomplish by the end of 2016, what I want to accomplish by the end of 2016 is, and then write it out. And so when you go back and you say what I actually want to accomplish, the word actually might trigger something different in your brain. It might be like that dream vacation. It might be a rank that you want to hit, where the goal itself originally could have been like pay my bills. And so if you, it doesn't matter your goal, I'm not judging anyone's goal, but yeah. So that's why I always have people do it twice. Okay.
Hi, this is Carrie. So my goal was different because my first one that I wrote down was, you know, I want to be diamond by the end of the year. But my second one was more focused on needing to be able to replace a certain amount of income by the end of the year.
Yeah. And so what I would focus on when you are reaching your goals, and we're going to talk about vision boards. And so when we talk about your vision board, being diamond is something that could be a very good thing to put on your vision board. But at the same time, for you and your subconscious, it might be better to put that you want to hit a certain amount of income, because that's what's going to trigger your brain and your kind of drive you forward. And so either way, you might still hit diamond. You'll probably rank up, obviously, to create more income. but your brain's going to respond better to the income part of it versus the ranked part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me what you know about vision boards, just what you've learned thus far in your life. And it can be anyone.
For me, sorry, go ahead. April. Was that
Oh,
April?
yeah, sorry. So the vision boards that I have created are obviously my goals. It's something that I look at every single day so that I can focus, and I am speaking them into the universe, because I know that if I do that, it's bound to come true if I'm believing it and putting it out there.
Okay, perfect. So something that you can look at, that you're kind of putting that out, the energy out there in the world, this is going to happen, and it's bound to come true, right? If we can just shift our subconscious to believe it, it will happen, right?
Right.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. Anybody else? What else do you guys have to add to that?
For me, it's about making clear visually to myself positive reinforcement and keeping clear on what my priorities are.
Yeah, and I love the word priorities there, because it's so easy, and we're going to talk about different screens that you have in your brain, but it's so easy to get off track. I do this every day in business, actually. I start something, I'm like, okay, this is what we're creating right now, this is what we're working on, and it's so amazing, but then all of a sudden, boom, something else pops up, and it seems like it's a high priority item. But really, it's not as big a priority as, you know, creating that extra income or hitting that rank or helping more people or whatever your actual goal is. And so it's a really good way to keep your priorities lined up. Love it. All right. Anything else? All right. So now what I want you guys to do is, does anybody know what the difference between a vision board is and a dream board?
No. No, I don't.
Okay, 2 no's? Okay, perfect. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to learn. Okay, so the difference for at least me and kind of what my knowledge on it has been, and we've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on different courses, even just ones for vision boards, because they're such a crucial part to success is your vision. And so the difference between them is, one can be used to create a reality and really reach your goals, and the other one is there to kind of motivate and inspire you. And so a dream board, like, okay, so example, on my dream board, I have a picture of a $26 million jet. But if I told myself right now that I had to go work towards getting that $26 million jet, I would go crazy and I would never start work because it's too overwhelming for my mind to comprehend. But these $1 million houses and these jets and like all these things that I want in the future, that makes me go, hey, I want to work towards that, but I can't work on that, if that makes sense. Whereas my vision board is things that I can currently work on, things that I'm actually going to spend my energy and time in creating it right now, manifesting it. And so that would be more things like, you know, a certain weight that you want to hit, or, you know, a certain size that you want to hit. They're tangible things, measurable things, I guess, not necessarily tangible, but measurable things, you know, a certain amount of money or rank. Actually, I want to share this with you guys. So I went and got my vision board binder because I haven't shown this to anybody in a few months, probably 6 months actually. But the first time that I created a vision board was that night that I went to that class with my mom, and I got home. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and my husband had work at 4 o'clock the next morning. And so here I am going crazy, and I'm like trying to print off pictures of what I want. And I printed off this picture, and I'm actually going to pull it out of my binder. So I printed off this picture of a house that I wanted, and I wrote on there, buy a house by August 1st, 2013. Which was crazy because at the time I think I was like 21, 22. And so that was crazy for me because I'd never wanted a house until that very day. And it was 3 months out. Yeah, I put it on my vision board in May. So it was in May that I wrote this. So to buy a house, you know, just barely wanting one, not even ever planning for it, having zero savings, and then to buy one by August 1st was my goal. And everybody thought I was crazy, even my husband. He was like, that's crazy, we're not going to buy a house. And so what I did was every single morning I would wake up and I would look at my vision board for 3 minutes. But because we were living in his parents' apartment, we had 1 bedroom, and I didn't have any space on the wall because we had like a kitchen table in there. It was like so full. I had to actually stand on the bed to look at my vision board. And so it was horrible. There was no wall space except for by my bed. And so I would get up every morning and I would stand there and I would look at it for 3 minutes. And then I would do the same thing at night. And I would jump it down. I mean, I would jump up and I would look at it. And my husband thought I was crazy. But then within a month, all of a sudden we had $4,000 extra dollars. And let me tell you, the company I worked for went bankrupt, so they were no longer in business. I didn't even have a job, and it was all moral, legal, and ethical. But all of a sudden we had $4,000 extra dollars. And so my husband was like, okay, there's something to it. So he started staring at my vision board as well and was like, okay, how do we do this? And so we actually got a realtor. We sat down, we started talking. The house that I wanted to buy was no longer on the market. And so I said, you know, I'm not going to downgrade. I need to upgrade. And so we went from a house that was $280,000 to a house that was $320,000. At the time, once again, that's huge for us, you know, being one, as young as we were, but two, we'd just gotten married. We didn't really know what house buying was like. And so we had to create a $12,000 down payment, and we had 2 months to do it. Well, it took us 6 weeks to come up with the rest of the $8,000, and it was all, none of it was loans, none of it was like we didn't take anything from banks. It was all $12,000 down payment that we had created, and it was literally, and I can 100% say this, I'd never been so driven or motivated or focused on anything in my life, and it was because of my vision board. And so we got the house. We actually bought the house in July. We bought it before August. We bought it about 2 weeks before my goal. And so I keep my binder of all my successes because it totally reminds me, it like inspires me to remember like why I do a vision board every day and why and how it's possible to create anything. And then once again, the difference in a vision board and a dream board, because my jet, well, let's be honest, we've all made those boards that have quotes on them and amazing things that we want, but we don't actually use them. We just think, oh, that's pretty one day, right? But we want to sink it into our subconscious. And so I'm going to teach you guys what I learned at that vision board class because it's pretty awesome. So let's kind of start with the brain, right? The brain, it's this big mysterious thing. Okay, so in our brains, we have 9 screens, and everybody's is a little bit different. Their layout's different, but the majority of people have a similar screen. So I'll give you guys the kind of different categories, but each screen, it's kind of like a tic-tac-toe screen. Actually, let me pull it on my computer, and I'll just kind of turn my computer towards you guys.
Lauren,
Be able to see it.
Lauren.
Let's see.
Did you brush your teeth?
Oh, sorry. I muted you, Elisa. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Start
just
again.
kidding. Are you good? Okay, perfect. So it's kind of like a tic-tac-toe screen where, so there's 3 rows on top and then it's down 3 rows. And I'll kind of go over the different categories, but each screen represents a different category in our lives. And what happens is when we are working throughout the day or we're taking care of our kids, we drift off. I mean, we all drift off during the day, but most of the time it's about how am I going to pay that bill, or, you know, is my kid going to be as healthy as I want them to be, or what's for dinner, you know, the barbecue that you're supposed to go to next Saturday. And so these categories, they each possess a few things that stick into your brain the most. And so what you do with a vision board, or what I like to do with a vision board is the science behind it, is to stick things in those categories purposely, because then instead of thinking about, oh my gosh, this big expense that I really have for my business, I can think about the next amazing thing that's really exciting to me, that I like, the next level that I want to rank at. It's more motivating to me. It's more positive. It kind of helps you throughout your day, but also you're programming your subconscious to do what you want to do versus letting it kind of run you. And so let me go over the categories really quick so you guys can write it down. So if you haven't already on a piece of paper, draw a tic-tac-toe board is the best way, with a border around it. We definitely like the borders. Okay, and in the top left category, you're going to put wealth. So money-related goals. And once again, this is not for everybody. Some people, you know, if you find that you're looking at your board and you're like, well, I don't really like my money goal right there, that's okay, you can move it. This is just the majority of people that we've worked with and kind of what we've been taught. The second thing, so the next one over on the top, is reputation. So how other people perceive you and see you. And then the top right corner is love. And then the one right underneath wealth is family. And the middle square is health. And then the next one next to it is spirituality. And then, okay. And then the bottom left one is education. The bottom middle one is achievements. And the bottom right one is travel. And so those are the 9 squares. And so I'm kind of just going to go over this. A lot of people, when I have them create vision boards, because I have all my clients have vision boards and I know what's on them and they send me weekly updates of what they're doing, because I want to really know what it is that their brain is being programmed towards. But
Just real
when
quick, what was that bottom corner to the bottom right corner one?
travel.
Travel. Okay, thanks.
Yes, I like to call it vacation. It's written travel on our paper, on our handout that we have, but for me, the word vacation's funner. Okay, perfect. So kind of like what I guess the main questions I get asked is, should you do 9 at a time? And I wouldn't recommend it. I would start with 1 to 3. Doing your first vision board. And when I started my vision board, I had 3 things on there. My first vision board, and my house obviously being the very center one. It wasn't a health goal, but it was what I was focused on at the time. So that's what I put there. And so if you feel called to, have something expensive in your health section, that's totally fine. If it's not working, then you can obviously rearrange it later. But I would start with 1 to 3 items, and then I would build up. So from there, you'll be like, okay, obviously I'm getting these things off. My brain, I can handle a lot more in time-wise, especially if you are working 2 jobs, like you have your business and you're working a job, and then you have a whole family life. It can be really overwhelming to change all that and to go for 9 new goals in your life. So I would definitely stick to 1 to 3 and work up. And some of you will work up really quickly and you'll be to 9 in a week from now, I'm sure. But yeah, so that's kind of where I would start with there. Does anybody have any questions on what that looks like?
I do. So
Yes.
when you're choosing your 3, are you taking the top 3 on the top, like just straight across? Those are the 3 you're working on, and then you move to the 2nd row and then the 3rd row?
So that's a great question. So what I would do for this part is refer back to the question that you answered earlier about what do you want for 2016, right? And that would be your first one. And then you just put that on your vision board. That's the first thing you're going to stick on there. And so for me, there's 3 important spots. So I'll go over my most important 3 spots, and I'll tell you kind of why. But once again, you guys are more than welcome to change it. So for me, the top one, the top left corner is really important. And the reason is, whenever you go to look at something, as humans, we've been trained to read left to right. So you start left to right. And so when you go to look at this poster board that you've created, your eye is always going to dart to that corner, that top corner. And so for me, it's always really important to have something right there. And it's always something that I really want, like something that's like totally worth getting out of bed for, because there's been times I'm laying in my bed and I'm like, you're outside up. I got to run my business. And what happens is I look over at my vision board, and if I don't see something that's like totally worth it for me, then I'm not going to get up. And since that's the first spot that I'm going to look at, it's more likely that I'll actually look at my vision board if I'm completely in love with whatever's right there. And so for me, most of the time, it's like a big business breakthrough, because I am a little bit obsessed with my business. And so it can be whatever, but that's the wealth area, but once again, doesn't have to be wealth. The second spot that I would put something is the middle picture. So where it says health, I would always put something there, because whenever you're working on your body, and I don't actually work on my body to lose weight, and that might be really bad to some people. I work on my body for my mind. So if I have appointments that same day, I don't eat chocolate, I don't eat bad, I'm a mind person, so that's what I do. Obviously, I'd like to have a good body, and that's a perk of working out, but for me, the health category is always something around my mind and achieving something that's like a big breakthrough. But it can totally be a weight loss thing. And so that one's really important, because obviously your mind will feel complete if there's something in the center. And then the very last one that I like to have is the one where it says travel. And it doesn't need to be travel, but I like that corner because, once again, we're trained to read from left to right. And so our eyes are always looking to see things complete. And so if we see something in the top corner, something in the middle, and something at the end, we feel like we went through this journey of our goals and our lifestyle that we're trying to create, right? And so for me, it's always really important to have something fun right there. And so fun meaning it can be a vacation, but for me, sometimes it's like going to a NASCAR race. I love NASCAR. And so just something that totally like lights my day up, that's not overwhelming or frustrating. Sometimes my business can be that. So I never put a business goal right there. But yeah, so that's what I need to feel complete, is the beginning, the middle, and the end. However, some of you will find that you would rather just have 3 in the middle, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, or random, and that's okay. But what I do think is really beneficial is to make sure that there's a border around at least the outside of your vision board, just to make sure that your mind will be able to focus and hone in on your vision board better than if it's just like pictures on your wall. And I actually have my Hawaiian poster behind me. This is how I really use this every morning. Okay, perfect. Any more questions about vision boards?
What is an idea that you would use under love? Because to me, everything on my vision board is something that I love. So what would you say there?
Yeah, so for that one, I a lot of times will focus on my relationship with like my daughter or my husband. And obviously there you could put them in there's like a family section, you know, there's reputation. I mean, they can really be in all of it, spirituality. But for me, that one's like, so currently it's like go on a vacation with my spouse. And even though there's another vacation for down here, it's specifically for just us. And actually, so what it used to be though, was unconditionally love my husband, which is a very hard thing to do because as humans, we judge. And so it was a really hard thing for me to unconditionally love him, even when he wanted to take our business in a different direction than us, or, you know, he wanted to have a different house than they wanted. And so it was really hard for me to be like 100% okay with him making his own choices. And so for me, unconditional love was a good one, but it was specifically towards him. Also, you could completely work on loving yourself. That's kind of the first one that I would start with, is just 100% falling in love with who you are as a person. Does that make sense? Perfect.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about the education one? Because I'm kind of like you, health-wise, I don't work out. I would never work out. So I like your idea of the mind. But so then what would you put in education? Because I'm not in school, don't plan on it.
Yeah, so what I would do, so in order to be successful in any industry, you really have to be the expert of your field. And so for us, obviously we do business consulting, right? And so what my goal always is, it's always my next mentor that I'm really looking for, or a course that I want to take. It's always one or the other. I mean, and so I actually did not go to college. I didn't graduate. I graduated high school, but I didn't go to college, and I don't take college courses, although there's a few classes that would be really cool. For me, at least, it's always like a seminar, a course, like something that you can do to really help yourself be higher in your industry. So we'll talk about the industries that you guys are in, but your products are in so many different industries that you could really say, okay, I'm going to, on my vision board, it's going to say, take 3 hours out of this week and really just study this industry so I can become an expert in it, because that's going to make people listen to you. And so education in any form.
That's perfect. I was not thinking that way. That was perfect. Okay, I got it.
Love it. Love it. All right. Any other questions? All right. Perfect. So I kind of mentioned my vision board, Success Binder. And so but when you guys start getting things off of your vision board, definitely keep a Success Binder. I love it. Actually, here, I'll show it to you guys. It's kind of fun. So obviously there's like the house, when it was like a car, but it's kind of cool because you can go through and you can see literally all of your accomplishments. And actually this one right here was an education one for me. It was a course that I wanted to take, and it was a $4,000 course, and we had already spent so much money on,
Did we lose her?
Yeah.
I think we did lose her because it just said she left the meeting.
Paulette, this is really good.
I hope you like it. She does talk fast. Do you need her to talk a little slower?
I'm good. And I think she's joined back in.
No,
She's
good.
back in.
There she is. We lost you. Oh, wait, now you're muted. Okay, and really fast, as everyone, when you ask your questions, when you're done asking questions, if you can remute yourself, just because sometimes the background noise tends to affect listening to her speak. So thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
So they're just saying that they're loving it so far. They can hear you perfectly. You're good.
Oh, good. All right. Perfect. Okay. So I will send you the vision board map, Colette. I don't know if you have it or not, but I'll send it to you just in case you don't, and you can send it to all of them so they can kind of, if they, don't get it, then they can get that. But yeah, so just with your vision boards, like I said, start it every single morning, 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the afternoon, be dedicated to your vision board. And one step further, if you can like put a lot of energy, because, you know, so we all do personal development. And so you kind of know like what you put out is kind of what you're going to get back. And so when you are looking at your vision boards, it's a very wise thing to put a lot of energy. And so for me, that's dancing. And so I actually will look at my vision board and I just like go crazy. And it's so weird. And this is so embarrassing to say still. I don't know why, but One Direction is like my favorite vision board music ever. And people think it's like, oh, you're this young weirdo. And I'm like, no, they have some really good songs. And so whatever is like your inspirational music, whatever like gets you going throughout the day, totally listen to it when you do your vision board. Because one, most songs are over 3 minutes. So instead of staring at your vision board being like, oh, I'm working again, it's like fun and it's exciting and you'll want to come back over and over again. And so I like to do mine Monday through Friday. Anything more than that and I stop looking at it. So just monitor what you do. If you can look at it for 10 minutes and keep looking at it, that's great. You'll get your goals faster. But if not, just, you know, make sure that you do whatever you feel is right for you. Cool.
And I have a question about that. So as we're looking at it though, we are envisioning, we are seeing ourselves walking through the front door of that house. We are crying because we opened our commissions and oh my gosh, it's the income that we have been wanting, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I just want to make sure that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay.
Yeah. And so sometimes for me, it's totally just rocking out with my music and just like getting the energy high. Sometimes it's completely still and it's envisioning all of the senses. Like, what does my car smell like? What does sitting in it feel like? You know, looking at my daughter in the back seat while I'm driving my car. And so there's so many ways that you can interact with your vision board. But visualizing is one of the most important things. And also, the biggest holdup that I see on people's vision boards is that they think their vision board is going to do it for them by themselves. And so if you want like a brand new car, get educated on that car. That way, when you're visualizing it, you are, you know, visualizing every little detail that you possibly can about the car versus just hoping you'll pop a car out of thin air because you're staring at a vision board. It's really great to keep your mind focused on it, but you still have to do the work and create it. And so it'll keep that priority in your head and it'll put the energy out there, but you really want to be visualizing and seeing yourself doing whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Great question. Love it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, like with the vision boards, how about if the visualizing is definitely a great idea, but how about like saying it out loud too? Because personally, when I said like, okay, last year, I told my stepson, I said in 6 months, I'm going to have a brand new car. And then it happened. And he was like shocked. So I'm saying like visualizing it and then saying it and believing it, you know? So he was shocked when I got that brand new car. So
yeah, I love it. First of all, congratulations on getting a car. That's really exciting. Yeah. And so I always like to say, see it, say it, hear it. And so you can do those 3 things with whatever it is that you're doing. There's obviously more, feel it, right? I mean, but see it, say it, hear it are the most important ones. And so I actually have a set of declarations and it includes most of my vision board goals and I do them separately. But when I really want something off of my vision board and I need it right now, I will just talk to my vision board and I'll scream it and I'll just say that I already have it. And I like to put my vision board in like, as if I already had it. So like instead of writing like, oh, I want to weigh, 165 pounds, I'll put like, I weigh 165 pounds. Great job, Elisa, ! Because it makes me feel better. And so you can definitely like talk to yourself, word it however you need to. I would still use music if you're going to do declaration type forms and you're going to say it. Put on like intense music. Like YouTube has amazing intense music without words. And you can totally just like feel the energy in the room go up and you can just sit there and be like, I am a millionaire. And you can just scream as loud as you want, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And it definitely helps. My husband one time for a week said that he was going to make $10,000. And I thought he was funny. I was like, there's no way. We don't do this in our business. We don't make $10,000 in a week. What are you doing? And he did it. And I was completely shocked. 7 days. And I was like, day 7, sure enough, boom, nailed it. And I was like, how did that just happen? And he didn't put it on his vision board. He just said it. So some people are very visual and some people need to hear things. And so I would use both to make it happen faster. But I love, love, love that you're already manifesting through just being able to say it and hear it.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? It's not before we move on. I thank you so much for sharing that. Like, the thing I got out of that so much is that I had my vision board, everything to do with the business, and like the way you've laid it out for us has showed me that it's more about my life with my business in it than just about It Works. And so that's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. That's an amazing comment. And it's so crazy when you try to do your business. I'm a workaholic. So I was a district manager by the age of 20. So, I mean, to do that, I had 32 stores. You really have to be a workaholic. But even workaholics, we get overwhelmed in business and it's not fun anymore. And so by having those family relationships and, health goals, and by having those travel vacations that you want to go on, it really makes it so that when you're in work mode and you're trying to build your business, you build your business faster because you're actually excited about what you're building. And so it's completely life-changing. Your business actually grows faster because instead of focusing on it for 24 hours a day, you're focusing on it for 4 hours a day or 10 hours a day or whatever it is for you, but you're actually really excited to focus on it. So amazing comment. Love that. All right. Any questions more about vision boards before we move on? All right. So if you guys have any questions after, you can just, send them to Colette and she can email me, or you can personal message me on Facebook or whatever.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a vision board. Do you keep that up until the goals are met, or you just change them, or like if you just desire to, or what?
Yeah, I love this question. So it's actually interesting. So I actually tape my next goal. So whenever I have a goal and it doesn't fit on my vision board because it's full, I actually tape it next to my vision board so that I know what's coming up. I'm like preparing my mind. I don't look at it when I look at my vision board because I don't want to take away from what I'm doing, but I have them all taped in like a pile. And so I always know the next goal that's going to be going on my vision board. That's just how I have 2 right now that are sitting next to my vision board. That's so funny. I did that this morning. But yeah, so I just always have that stack of pile ready to go. And then the ones that come off, like I said, put them in a binder, put them in a folder so that you can go back and they're evidence for your brain that you can achieve something, that you are amazing. So great question. But yeah, I just have them lined up, ready to go.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, I love goals. You guys will too, though. Once you get enough, not everybody should start with the house, their vision board, but for me, it was like such an amazing thing that I was like, goals are my new favorite thing. And, 3 years later, they're still my favorite. All right, perfect.
I have a question also. So let's say you've got your 3 items and you've got your board. Are you just putting like one thing for one item, or do you have multiple like pictures or whatever for each item?
Good question. So what I recommend is only having one goal per square. So instead of like in your health goal, I wouldn't have like a weight and a size. I would have one or the other. But I actually changed my vision board about a month ago to a whiteboard because I take notes so that I could write little quotes or sayings or like to-do items next to the picture. And so it's a vision board. It's obviously things happen if you're very visual, but they're also very important to read. And so for me, every item that I have on my vision board, unless it's like a random one that goes up, has picture and word. So like if you look at this one, there's like words at the top of it, so that you can really see the picture that you want, but also be able to hear yourself read it and say it as you go through it. And so I have some clients if it's like a big goal and it has a lot of action steps to it, I have them put sticky notes on their vision board next to the goal. And then that way they can write there like, this is my to-do list. This is what I need to figure out. Because you're going to get inspiration when you look at it. But if you don't obey and like follow the inspiration that you get, then it makes the goal harder to get. So yeah, so I would just keep it to one goal, but totally as much inspiration around that one goal as you can possibly get. Cool? Love it.
Very cool.
Okay. Perfect. So any more questions about vision boards, send them to Colette because I really want to go over this next part, but or you can send them to me and I'd be happy to answer them. And we can also go over them next time. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about today is really having the business owner mindset, because I have worked with over 200 people in network marketing individually, and then I've obviously worked with some really big teams. And I know there's a lot of business owner mindset that's overlooked in the network marketing industry. And so I kind of just wrote down some notes here that I wanted to kind of cover really quick. But before I go over that, okay, so I want you guys to write down on your piece of paper, just write down the industries that you are in with the products that you have to sell, whether that's like the beauty, whether it's weight loss, like what industries do you cover with your products?
So I know with me, I'm extremely, extremely new with this. So like, can I kind of get some maybe ideas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weight loss industry, the beauty industry, health and wellness industry. What else, ladies?
Lifestyle.
Skincare.
I love those.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, so when you are a business owner, any business owner, you really have to have a niche. You really have to have like, who are you going after? Who are you targeting? What industry are you in? And obviously with the product that covers so many industries, I'm sure there's many we didn't name that you guys will probably think of later. What happens is we tend to think, okay, we're in the it works industry, right? And not the beauty industry and not, weight loss industry. And what happens with that is business owners, they kind of, or marketers, they kind of pull back and say, okay, I'm gonna sell this as it is, as I know it, which is network marketing, which is, hey, here's a product, try it. Tons of other people are trying it. And there's like a million products versus saying, okay, this is what I'm going to target. And so obviously I don't want to limit you and say only target one. I think that the people that I've seen have the most results in any network marketing industries have targeted less than 3. So I would pick your 3 and I would become experts in those. When it comes to that education, I would be like the top person in, the beauty industry, the top person in the weight loss industry. Like I would learn all the other things going on in that industry and not just my product. What that's going to do is when you talk to people, they're going to be really excited about you, what you know, and now they're going to be open to actually buying whatever you have to offer. And so I kind of want to pull this back a little bit, kind of like, so it kind of makes sense. So I had somebody reach out to me today about a course that I took about 3 months ago online, and I'm in the Facebook group, and so they reached out and said, hey, I want to learn more about this course. And so we started this conversation, and I started just like telling her all this amazing stuff about the industry that she's in, because she didn't really understand that she was like needed to be in an industry. And so I was like telling her all this stuff, and now she's like, hey, we need to get on the phone and need to hire you. And she doesn't even know 100% what I do. She doesn't know my credibility. She doesn't know anything about me, but she's looking at working with me just because I know the industry. And so when it comes to that, you want to be a trusted source in your industry. You want to be seen on Facebook, not as the girl who's, the best It Works girl, but who is a super successful business owner and is very knowledgeable in the industry that you choose. And so, I'm going to be really bold with this, but it's helped every team that I worked with so far. So I'm going to just say it and you guys are going to love it, right? So the mindset that's different in somebody who starts a business owner like a startup and somebody who joins a business and is still their own business owner and can still run their own business, but has somebody else's product that they're selling. The difference is one, you're going to sell like somebody else's product, and one, you're going to sell like your own product. And so what I want you guys to do is sell your products like they're your own. Like literally don't like just like, hey, hopefully somebody will buy this. I'm going to post it 20 times. No, like get out there and talk to people, like ask people. Like I would do tons of research. Like, and I love surveys because they totally help me not only get to know what my audience is looking for, but they help me figure out the people that I'm asking to help me survey a lot of times become my clients, and they actually become people that like, well, they fit right into what I'm doing, and they feel like they fit in because they connect with me through a survey. So I would go out and talk to people like, oh my gosh, like how's your skin in this area? How's your, how have you been doing this weight loss thing? And, find out what they're doing. And so like a gym would be like a really good place to hang out probably. Well, that would just be my first idea, but I'm sure you guys have a lot of ideas. But that would be like a good one, is just go hang out and become the expert in the industry and then go sell it like it's a startup product, like it's your own product, like you created it. Obviously there's like rules with that you need to follow, guidelines that you need to follow. Definitely reach out to your uplines if you have questions on that. But really the difference is treating it like an actual business that you started yourself, that you're passionate about it and you're going to run it. If you treat it like, well, I'll just pick it up when I'm ready for it, it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to pick it up for you. You have to say, this is my product and I believe in it 100%, and here's why. And so by doing that, I think that's the biggest different mindset in people that I see, that when I work with them and they're like actually trying to create something versus somebody who's just trying to build something that's already created. And neither one is better than the other. The only difference is that one's like, well, somebody else will get big, or maybe this person will see a ton of products circulating and then they'll want to join my team. It doesn't work like that. I mean, it's very rare that it works like that. I can't tell you how many times a day we get hit up on Facebook. I mean, I get so many messages a day from tons of different network marketing companies about joining their company. But really the ones that we've ever even looked at or even bought the products from are people who have sat down and like shown us like, this is why, like they're passionate about it. They're saying, listen, like you have to do this. Like I'm telling you, and just believe in yourself. I mean, I believe in mentoring 100%. I wouldn't be a mentor if I didn't. Actually, the second that I hired a mentor, all of a sudden my mind shift switched to, oh, mentors really do work, because if you are trying to be a mentor and you've never had a mentor, it's probably not going to work because you don't believe in what you're trying to sell. And so the second that I did that and that mindset shift for me, all of a sudden, boom, I was like open to success in my own industry because I was willing to see it. And so just be really open to know what industries you're in, become experts in those industries, and treat your products like your products. Like you're your own startup company, and there's so much good information out there about startup companies and getting your product out there. Market it like that, not like a traditional network marketing company would market it. So that's what I have to say about that. But so that was my really quick thing that I want to go on a tangent. Okay, so now the fun part of it. Okay, so this is what happens in any business, in any industry. We start a business, we decide that we're going to be successful, and that our families probably think that we're crazy, but whatever, we're going to be successful and we're going to show them, right? And then we go to a family barbecue and somebody asks you like, hey, how's your business doing? And we and we cringe. And like to this day, I still have to like focus on like holding my body language in front of my dad, because my dad is like the biggest non-believer. Actually, he called me last week to help him start up a new business. So that was like a big shift for us, because he's like been in business for years, but not his own, right? And so I call it the shrink effect. When we get around family and friends or even people that we just like don't, like acquaintances, right? And they ask, hey, how's that It Works thing that you're doing going? Oh yeah, it's great. I'm really busy. It's awesome. I love it. Income's great. Hey, you want to be on my team? Like, and people can read your body language. They can tell that you're like shrinking internally, like not wanting to talk about this. And I see some people laughing at it because it's so true. And so I just want you guys to like be aware when you go out and you share your message, you need to share it like you're successful, and don't lie about it. I don't lie about my success. I'm not going to tell you I've made money that I haven't made, but at the same time, I'm going to find really good key points to point out about my business and my success versus like, yeah, life sucks. We're struggling. This happened. Boom. Oh, that course we wanted to launch, it got put off for another month. Like, that's not what I'm going to tell you. It's like, oh my gosh, we're planning this new course and it's amazing. I can't wait. I'm going to tell you the good things about it. So next time somebody asks you at a party or, Thanksgiving or whatever family function that you're going to, or friend function that you're going to, don't shrink. And I think a lot of it, and I'm going to specifically say this, like most business owners do this anyway, but I'm going to talk to the network marketing industry because that's where you guys are at. Some people think network marketing has like this bad name. Yeah, okay, so those people that have bad name and people that think of network marketing in a bad light have been burned by it before, and that's okay. And there's a lot of business owners that have been burned by it before in every industry. Doesn't matter where you're at. So don't look at it and think, oh, network marketing, because I used to look at it and think, oh, coaching, man. There's no way. It's a burned industry, right? Every industry has been burned at some point or another, and people have their opinions on it. But instead, you're going to come out and you're going to be the person that's like, network marketing is awesome because I don't have to create my own product and I get to make a lot of money doing it. And so it's easier to manage, and there's tools given to me. I don't have to create my own website. There's one there. Like, you can find all the benefits that you want, but it's like that when people are like, oh, how's that network marketing thing that you're doing going? I want you guys to stand up proud and just tell them. And so the challenge is, we're going to meet every 2 weeks, right? And so my challenge for you guys is, for the next 2 weeks, I want you to own it. Like, you are a boss. Like, own your business. Like, I'm not talking like the boss sense of like you're a boss lady. I mean like you're an actual business owner boss. Like, own your business, be proud of it, and step into it. It will change. Your body language towards it will change. When you talk to people, this is a good note. When you talk to people about your business, point your feet towards them. Because if you're pointing your feet away from them, they can tell you don't want to be in that conversation. And that goes for any conversation. So if you have kids at home and you try and talk to them and they're pointing their feet away from you, it's probably because they want to leave the conversation. Now that's not a bad thing. They might be overwhelmed. Don't judge them for it. And don't say, hey, your feet are pointing the wrong way, but just be aware of it. And so when you are talking to people about your business, be very aware of the energy and the body language that you're giving off. We studied body language for about 1.5 years, and then it kind of just got intuitive. You can kind of just sense it now. But it's really important to know that when you talk to somebody about your business, that you are representing your business and not It Works. You're representing you. And so just make sure that you're doing that. Hold on, I want to-
Can I say something and add something to that?
Of course.
Cool. Okay. So that's how I've always felt like especially when, like maybe I've gotten a new distributor on our team and they're like, how do I approach people? What if someone says something to me? Typically, if someone says, oh, what do you do? They immediately say, oh, I'm an It Works distributor. And I always say, don't say that. When someone asks me what I do for a living, I am a successful business owner, because you want to own it along the lines of what you're saying. The part of, I'm trying to, let's see, where did you, oh, well, I can't find it in my notes, but, so I just, since we're all It Works distributors on here, that's what she means. Like, I never say I'm an It Works distributor. Never. I'm a business owner. I paid my $99 to join this company. I am a business owner. Yes, again, they have a website and they have our products and all of that. You are a business owner, and I love how you're saying that, because you need to own it. And when you do, people listen to you more. The moment you just say, oh, I'm this, they don't take you as seriously, in my opinion.
No, I love that. Hold on, I'm going to write a note really quick. Expert in. So think about like Sam Walton, like Walmart. He didn't start selling his products. Like, he started selling other people's products, but it benefited him. And it's the same thing. Obviously, you're a little bit more personal to a company, but to one specific company. But what I think, too, to add to kind of what she's saying is not just I'm a successful business owner, but also I'm an expert in blank industry. I own my own business. I'm a business owner in, I'm a business owner, and I'm an expert in the beauty industry. I'm an expert in this. And, I'm a leader in this. And if you're not, let me tell you guys something. The average person will not read 5 books on one topic. So if you feel like you have to be qualified to count yourself as an expert, pick an industry, go read 5 books in that industry, and bam, you're an expert, because an expert is the top, 1 to 3%. Now you're an expert. Good job. And that's what you tell people. And then when they ask you about it, well, you've read books, so now you have answers for them. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. I think I'm funny. I like to just, you gotta, anyway, okay, so, this is also what I'm talking about. Having a daily routine. So how many of you here have, and I'll have you guys raise your hand, and then I'll just kind of scroll through because I'm on my phone, so then I'll be able to see how many of you have your hands up. But how many of you here are doing It Works and are running that business, but at the same time working at a job? So if you are, put your hand up, and I'm going to scroll through if there's anybody. Okay, so there's quite a few. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to scroll back. Okay, love it. Okay, so here's what I want to say specifically to you guys, and everybody else. This is good notes to take. You want to have a daily routine. I don't know any successful business owner that does not work on their business daily. And just because you have, an upline that can call you and say, hey, did you work on your business? And you can say, yeah, I did it 2 times this week. It's not enough. You're not going to, it's not enough. And I know I'm not saying that you have to work 20 hours on your business a day, but you need to be committed to making at least 1 phone call for your business a day. So today, my phone call, well, I make a lot of phone calls, but today my specific, really important one was to my uncle. He owns a business in Minnesota, and we don't talk. It's like a welding business, but he emailed me on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I'm going to reach out to him. And so it's we talked about business for a minute, and it's sometimes that's all you have time for is calling and inspiring somebody else and helping them through stuff. That's okay. Sometimes it's a simple post on Facebook, whatever it may be. Sometimes it's call to your upline. Hey, let me get some action steps. What should I be doing? But sitting on Pinterest or Instagram, screenshotting quotes does not count as actual business time. It's great, and I love doing it, but it doesn't count as business time. So if you want to be successful in business, you've got to have a daily routine that you do with your business. You have to have some type of structure. If that's 20 minutes, if that's 5 hours, I don't care how long it is, but you have to set aside time every day to make it happen. And I have a daughter, and my mom is her nanny, because I've been blessed with a mother who did childcare for 25 years. But sometimes, right now, she's on vacation. She's out of town for 2 weeks. And so that leaves me and my husband running our business and having our daughter. But we still have to say how much time, how do we get this? And sometimes it's her nap time. And we're like, okay, we're going to work. And I'm a little bit obsessed. So once again, I kind of do the work and my husband kind of watches her, but still he makes sure during her nap time, he covers his business expectations. And so just be committed to your business and make sure that you're working it every single day. And don't wait for your upline to tell you. This is your business, your startup, your company. How many people out there own companies? I knew nothing about business when I started. So the upline excuse doesn't work because I didn't know anything. You can get educated. There's so much information out there. So just be committed to your business and treat it like your own business. Close that. Okay, cool. So I have a few assignments for you guys, and then I'll let you guys go. I'm kind of right on time here. So, okay. So one thing that, me and Colette kind of talked about, like what would be best for the group as far as like what we go over. And I definitely think vision boards are going to help because they're going to push you to that, like, okay, what do I want? You're going to have to actually get clear on what it is that you want. And then obviously mindset and being that business owner and treating it like a business day in and day out will push you to success a lot faster. But sometimes also, and most of the time, there's things that are holding us back, like whether that's stress, it's worries about things, whether it's a person. Sometimes it's like the laundry didn't get done this week and I'm thinking about that, so I can't even think about my business. There's so many things that it could be. And so one of the assignments that I want to have you guys do is I want you guys to pick an item that represents your block. So before you pick an item, what I want you to do on your piece of paper really quick is just write down your number one block. What's your biggest block in your business? Whether it's a person, whether it's a mindset thing, whether it's time, whatever your block is, write it down. And then when you're done, I want anybody to share. Oh, sorry, what?
Is that what you said?
What was that?
I'm sorry, you said to write down your what?
Number one block. Like, what's the biggest thing holding you back in your business?
What if you have more than one?
So write down, make a list and just circle the biggest one. Yeah, I always have more than one. Just, yeah, pick one to focus on, but definitely be aware of the rest. Okay, and then so I want anybody who's done writing it down, just like a few shout outs of kind of what kind of blocks you guys are having right now.
Time.
Stress and not able to focus.
Mindset.
Yours is what? What was the last one?
My mindset is in the wrong place.
Your mindset. Okay, love that. Okay, cool. Anything else?
Focus.
Okay. Okay, I love it.
Organization.
Fear of success.
Ah, okay, fear of success. I'm going to come back to you. Remember that. If I don't get to it, remind me. Okay, so.
And mine is fear of what others think.
Okay, that's a really big one. Okay, so fear of success and fear of what other people think is one that you all probably have. And focus and like organization and the other ones, they are really what's standing between you and the fear of success. So once you get past that current block of like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't have time, you're going to hit the block of fear of success because eventually success is going to be standing at your door and you're going to be scared of it. So those two are very big. However, some people, you have to get through the other ones first. It happens in business. For me, the first big block was taking my business seriously, right? I had to believe I was like a business owner because I didn't see myself that way for a long time. And so it could be the mindset thing. And so what I want you guys to do is we all hold on to things that we shouldn't hold on to, including bad mindsets or blocks that are bad for us. And so what I want you guys to think of is think of an item in your house that you really don't need that you've been holding on to for whatever reason. Whatever reason it is, and I want you to write the item down next to your block. It can be any item, big, small. It can be as down to a shirt up to like a couch. It can be anything that you know you should get rid of, but you've been holding on to.
My kids.
And I love, that one we're kind of, I can't give you permission to get rid of them.
That's all right. Let's see. What am I holding on to?
What if you have a lot?
Well, then you're going to do a lot of cleaning this week is what I would recommend. So me and my husband actually go through our house once a month and we try to get rid of as much stuff as we possibly can. It's a very good thing, but we make sure we tie our blocks to the things that we're getting rid of because a lot of times the mental blocks that we have, because most of the blocks you guys named are mental. And so a lot of them are mental. And what happens is when you put that mental thing, like I have a package of pencils right here. So oh, my thing's gonna fall. If I put my block and I tie it to a pencil in some form or another, and then I get rid of the pencil, my subconscious also gets rid of the block for up to a certain point. I mean, some it's really easy, some you got to get rid of more than one item, but most of the time, the first item that you think that you should get rid of in your block are energetically connected. And so I won't go into it, but the assignment that I have for you guys is to pick that item that you picked. So let's say you picked a lamp, right? Or a plate. My husband has he goes and buys random plates to break. So pretend that you have a plate, right? Get a Sharpie or a pen or whatever it is. And this week, what I want you guys to do is I want you to write all the limiting negative beliefs that you have that center around that block on that item. And then I want you to completely destroy the item. Disclaimer though, be safe in doing it. We had somebody break a finger one time doing this. Well, he didn't break it, he sprained it and it was really swollen. He was trying to break a couch with his bare hands. So don't do that. Disclaimer, be safe, and I'm not taking credit for any mishaps. But I totally will say, if you don't have an item, think of a glass item that you could break, scribble all over it and go outside, throw it at a brick fence or something and find a way to break it, destroy it. Sometimes, one time I had these pair of shoes that I had for probably 3 years, but I loved them so much I had to keep them. But my block was, I feel poor. And when you have shoes for 3 years that are starting to wear and tear, they make you feel poor. But I love them and I didn't want to get rid of them. So I knew I had to get rid of them. So I wrote, I am poor, I have no money, all over my shoes. And then I cut them up and I threw them away. And so it can be literally anything, but pick the block, pick the item, destroy the item, get rid of it, throw it away, and just be willing to move forward. Now that you're over your block. So that was the first thing that I want you guys to do. Second thing that I want you to do is I want you guys to send either me or Colette pictures of your vision boards as you get them up. And I like to say a vision board should be about, a poster board size, whiteboard size, whatever that is. And you want to make sure that it's that size so that obviously you can see the picture that you're putting on there. And when you put it up on your wall, don't just set it on your floor, actually put it on your wall and make sure that center is a little bit above eye level, because when you want to make sure you're looking up at your goals, not down at your goals. Yes, so send me a picture of your vision board and then break your items, check in with Colette and say, hey, I broke my item, and just, totally share as a team what you guys are doing. I don't know if you guys have a team Facebook group or something, but totally just get together and share and just inspire each other and help each other through your blocks, basically. Does anybody have any questions around that? All right, who already knows what they're gonna break? Anybody? All right, some of you got it, love it. Who's dreading it though? Who's really doesn't want to do the assignment because they don't want to get rid of it? Okay, what are you getting rid of?
Okay, so I have these really cute, sexy jeans from when I was single, 9 years ago.
Yeah, they should probably go.
Oh, I love them. But
yeah.
I never fit in them ever again. So I'm cutting them up.
I love it. I think that's awesome. I know. And I used to work as a district manager for clothing stores, right? And so in doing so, obviously I loved fashion. And I remember the time that I got rid of 3 dresses that still had the tag on them. It was the worst moment of my life, but also the best thing I ever did, because then I could stop feeling guilty for not fitting in them. So yeah, so I think it's definitely a good thing. I'm excited for you guys to do your blocks. We are going to meet again in 2 weeks from now, same time, same day. One thing that I wanted to do as a bonus though, is if you want to be critiqued on how you offer your product, send Colette a video of you offering your product, your favorite product. Pick your favorite product and then just make a 1 to 3 minute video of you offering your product. And I will totally go into body language and how you hold your product and how you sell it, what you're saying. So if you guys want me to do that next time, I'll let you guys decide that as a team. Get together, create some videos, send them to me so I can watch them before we get together next time, and we'll do that. And if not, we'll totally just keep going into mindset and some more things that you can do to build your energy so that people will, want to be around you and they'll want to be in your energy bubble. Cool? All right, cool. You are muted. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. So does anybody have any questions for me?
I was just wondering, do you have a specific date set up?
I was thinking just 2 weeks from now. Let me see what the date of that is.
So I think that's the 10th of October.
I think it's Is today Tuesday? Does anybody know?
I don't know. Yes, it's Tuesday.
Okay, so that would be the 11th.
Oh, the 11th. Okay.
October, the 11th. Is that good, Colette?
Yep. Every Tuesday.
Perfect.
Yep.
Love it. All right, cool. So check in with me. I love to hear how you guys are doing. Check in with Colette. She can send me the stuff. Or you can send it to me personally on Facebook. Find me. That's cool too. And yeah, that's all I have. So Colette, I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Well, how many of you have learned something, gained something from this hour from her? Raise your hand.
Yeah, I love it.
Yay. Thank you. I'm really excited for implementing this for myself, having you guys implement it, having us get together. I'm really grateful for Elisa, for her spending this time with us. And I'm looking forward for the next 2 weeks and then the following after that. So everyone, if we can give her a nice little round of applause. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.